Hey everybody, welcome back to the Onimusha commentary. I believe we are going to go to the major tower area of this this part next. And then I think we're going to show off a bit of the Ogre Tower, the Genma Onimusha exclusive gauntlet area. Not only a bit of it though, because like I said, it's close to 30 fucking floors. And you don't need to watch that entire thing.
Do you want ants? This is how you get ants.
This is how you get ants. Absolutely. This is something, this is a kind of a minute change they did for Genma, because in the original game, you had to actively get closer to the door for that cutscene to trigger where that guy gets attacked by the ants and it opens the way to where you have to go next. In Genma, it happens automatically as soon as you get here, making it a little clearer what you have to do. I think maybe between the original release and Genma, people were saying this is kind of confusing.
How easy is it to get lost in this game?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really at all. The no area in this game is gargantuan.
Yeah, it's not hard to get lost for very long, but what I will say is that like the structure of the environment isn't particularly easy to keep straight in your head.
Because personally speaking, I feel like I would very easily get turned around in the pre-rendered kind of style.
Well, there is that, but like, since we're comparing this to Resident Evil, like the older Resident Evils had like a very straightforward east wing, west wing kind of structure where you always knew the general direction that you were going and where the main hall was, so it wasn't that hard to keep your sense of direction straight. But then you got later into the series and you got to Code Veronica where the environments were a bit more random. And Onimusha's a bit more in the Code Veronica area, where everything seems to be arranged in a kind of random way. There's a bunch of different areas, and those areas don't really have that much concise structure to them.
At the same time, though, the Inabayama Castle, or the keep, whatever it is not Code Veronica large. So while the backtracking is plentiful in some regards, it's still nowhere near to the extent.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The spirit is the same. I think that's what you're getting at.
Code Veronica also had this thing where there were three major areas, and there was this one long linear path connecting all three of them. So if you wanted to go from one to the other, you were always going to be traveling along that one path back and forth, depending on the order you did things in. That could happen a little too often for comfort. So yeah. Here everything is much closer together, so it's not quite as much of a headache. And the backtracking does sort of lend itself to the game in a way because of the amount of souls that you need to progress. The backtracking provides more opportunities for fighting, which means more souls, which means less intentional grinding later on.
Yeah. Which, again, is more of a problem in Genma's case because of the soul gates they throw at you way earlier. Because that right there on the second floor is a level 3. That's the max security level. You need a max enemy for that. And but again, this is also when they introduced the Dark Realm for you. So at this point, my recommendation, you should have done the Dark Realm at least once at this time. And if you want to play it on the safe end, you can do it multiple times, maybe like 2 or 3 more times afterwards. Because it's not impossible to do, again, because of the green soul mechanic. If you find yourself having to spend herbs or medicines inside your Dark Realm run, reset. There is a save point right outside. Like, do not waste any sort of healing items inside the Dark Realm. Just rely on your green souls. And if you want to, you don't even have to do all 10 floors at once, because every time you finish a floor off in the Dark Realm, you are given the choice to go deeper, or you can leave.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself hurting for whatever reason, leave. Leave, get some green souls from some of the smaller enemies, save your game, recharge. It's repetitive, but it's consistent.
And you'll get to keep your souls.
Yes. And your herbs that you can later upgrade to medicines after you spend all the rest of your souls on your weapons and all that. There are workarounds. It may not be fast, but it's safe.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Again, scenarios like this was like, you weren't there in the PS2 game, but I have the charge attack. And charge attack with the Enryu at level 3 makes pretty short work of these dudes. You don't even need to eat them. You can just smack them.
Oh yeah, guy went down like a sack of bricks. Oh,
Yeah, you don't. Oh, I'm mocking him.
Rude.
it's like he just smacked you really hard, and the green soul went flying.
We have a showdown. Like we're staring each other eye to eye, and then it's going to be a showdown of epic proportions. And then the moment one of us begins to swing our weapon, we just hit a fucking wall. Because let's be real here, these hallways are really narrow. There's no fucking way we should be able to have these wide arcing swings.
Every sword fight should be that one scene from Final Fantasy VII Remake where Cloud gets his sword caught in the doorway.
I think of, strangely enough, Kill Bill Volume 2, where Beatrice is fighting, I forgot her fucking name, inside the trailer park. And like the first minute of that battle is her trying to unsheath her sword in that fucking low roof. And she can't do it because there's not enough space.
Is it like on her back and she has to go like shing really dramatically?
I think that's what they were trying to go for. Like, obviously it's played for laughs, but it's also like you got to get out of there because you can't use your weapon at all.
Fun fact, you know the kind of shing or kind of unsheathing sound? If you hear that, that means you're damaging your blade. Don't do that.
But it's cool.
Yeah, but you want to know what else is also cool? Not dying.
You're not wrong.
If I get the sword out on time, I'm not gonna die.
Man, you know, I've owned both volumes of Kill Bill for ages. I really should watch them one of these days. It's just like, this is a movie that I'm definitely gonna watch someday, so I go and buy it, and then I don't get around to watching it.
It's something I hesitate to do, but I always kind of recommend folks to watch it as originally intended, and that's to watch them back to back because they were originally one movie.
Yeah.
But it's 4+ hours long if you do that, and that's asking for a lot of your time. Then again, we also live in a world of Zack Snyder's Justice League, so
yeah, but you also don't have to watch Kill Bill in 4:3 and in black and white if you don't want to.
Well, it depends on what version of Kill Bill you're watching, but
watching this movie and taking a break goes against the director's vision.
No, I would say Tarantino's vision is pretty rampant throughout, especially if you like feet.
That's all his movies,
Can we not?
What? If he wants to keep telling me that he has a foot fetish in every single one of his fucking films, I can't help it.
The thing is, like, before I watch Kill Bill, I kind of want to watch the movies that inspired Tarantino so that I can catch all the little things he steals from
I think you got to go back to like 70s samurai films, basically, at that point.
Even the occasional pinky violence film. That's like,
I love Kill Bill though. Like those are some movies those are some of my favorites from Tarantino. Kind of what got me into the whole samurai kick, even if it wasn't a traditional samurai movie by usual standards, I guess is a way of putting it. Anyway, so this is the area where they introduced the second level of the ogre Genma, and this guy's an asshole.
yes, he is.
And Genma really likes this asshole too because they throw a lot of you. They throw a lot of them at you, especially in the Ogre Tower, where I think you fight at least 2 or 3 at once.
You fight ogres in the Ogre Tower?
Yep.
Huh. Weird.
It's a bitch, right?
So if you don't grind, how strong are your weapons generally by this point of the game? Like, does the game in Genma, you said, expects you to grind a lot more?
If only because of the locks on the doors, because they need to be at a certain threshold. If you were just killing Genma as you go along, not backtracking too much because you're whipping up the map all the time, you're not trying to get too lost. Your swords spread throughout should be low level 2, like it just got to level 2.
Well, the other issue is knowing what order to level your weapons up in.
That is also true, yes.
Like, you're going to be doing a lot more grinding if you level up your electric sword to 3 and then get to that level 3 fire door.
Shit. And you didn't level up your fire sword at all.
Yeah. So, like, if you know what order to do your weapons in, then you're going to be doing less grinding.
And the level 3 red door, you have to go through in order to beat the game.
Yes.
Oh, this is the Ogre Tower, isn't it?
That is a plot important area. And again, it's a really big sour point I have on Genma's structure, is they throw that really early compared to the PS2 game. 'Cause I think the first level 3 lock you run into in the PS2 original and the HD remastered by proxy is the Wind Elemental, which is a little later in the adventure. So you're more than likely to have that leveled up more than you would the Enryu at this point.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess they tried to rectify that by having their own Dark Realm available and the Ogre Tower, because you can start doing the Ogre Tower now too, and they are good for souls, but again, it's still grinding. It's a big ass fucking halt on the game's progression. You know. Yeah, so like I said, these areas are technically optional, but given the amount of souls you need, is it really? I kind of wonder about that sort of thing.
So how many floors of this are we doing?
All right, so we're going to be doing the first set of rooms, just to give you an idea of what the Ogre Tower is like, and then I'll be jumping to the very end of the Ogre Tower when I come back to this place, because we're not doing the Ogre Tower in its entirety now. We can't. We just do not have... to unlock additional floors for the Ogre Tower, you have to inject these relics with souls. And after a certain point, the floor is unlocked. You should not be injecting souls into something that's optional when your weapon still needs to level up.
Yes, that's a good point.
So this place is optional.
Yeah, this place is entirely optional. You do get a kick-ass reward for it, though, at the end, but I'll save that until we actually get it.
I don't understand the point of having 2 enemy gauntlet type areas in your game.
The 3 in this game's case.
Oh, jeez. But like, the what's that thing called? The area you were in, the Dark Realm. Like, that seems to be just the same as this, only spooky.
Yeah, they're all like conceptually very similar. The Ogre Tower has the benefit of being the largest arena, but that also means that if you got Archer Genma loaded up on the opposite side, you're not seeing them until you go to the other side of the room to load it, which means you can easily get pot shot by something you can't see.
I just kind of don't get why they wouldn't have just made like the Dark Realm extra floors of the Ogre Realm Tower or whatever.
It should have been an additional 10, maybe like an extra 5 floors to the original Dark Realm from the PS2 game. I agree. The reason why you're doing the Dark Realm, the first Dark Realm at all besides the soul grinding, is because the prize at the end of it is the Ogre Tower key, which you need in order to get to this place at all.
Ooh.
So you have to do the first Dark Realm in order to even access the Ogre Tower. And the second Dark Realm, which was just the original in the PS2 game, you're doing that for the strongest weapon in the game, which is only available at endgame, so it's just bragging rights, if we're being honest here.
This all kind of feels like integrating the Bloody Palace from Devil May Cry into the story mode. Like,
what was the Bloody Palace?
It was the enemy gauntlet mode in the Devil May Cry games, but the thing that made it fun was that it was optional and separate from everything else.
It was like a different mode?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But you could, but it was all tied to the same save file, so you could go in there and grind red orbs or whatever to level your character up.
Yeah, so these are the enemies I was talking about, Lewis, where they're basically the Samanosuke clones.
Oh boy!
But now they're just they're made regular enemies in Genma. Yeah, so these are, you can only fight these in Genma. I would say Onimusha doesn't really have a Bloody Palace, whatever the hell it's called, in this, besides the Dark Realm stuff, but it does have an optional side game. That's called Oni Spirits. It sucks. It's not very fun. You get the reward you get for that is fucking fantastic if you manage to do it, because you may exactly, that's my good timing there, treasure chest. So what I just picked up there was a Fluorite. These are optional items that you can pick up throughout the entire game. There are,
and they strengthen our teeth.
No, they're not. That's Fluoride, not Fluorite.
Okay.
there's a D at the end of one. But these are items you can pick up that are scattered throughout the entire game. They're invisible at first until you pick up a relic from one of a corpse that allows you to see them on the screen like that. And basically, if you collect all of them, you unlock the Oni Spirits minigame. I think Genma increased the number of Fluorite you have to pick up by like 10. So like 30 as opposed to 20, or I might be getting that mixed up there. But the Oni Spirits minigame is you trying to break open a larger number of pots than your enemies are. And you do this for like 15, 20 floors.
Ugh.
If you manage to win that game, which is easier said than done because it can be very strict at times. You have to break a set number of pots before your enemies do, but your health is constantly draining. And if you don't have enough pots to meet the quota, you instantly die. It sucks. It's not fun. But if you manage to beat it, you unlock the game's ultimate mode, which not only gives you infinite ammo for your arrows and your guns, and it gives you all of your maxed out elemental weapons at once. It also gives you the Bishonen sword, which is the best sword in the game. It basically one-shots everything.
Oh.
So it also gives you like 99 talismans, 99 medicines. It's your flex mode, basically. Like, I wasted my time on that Oni Spirits minigame, and here's the mode to show for it.
So it's like getting the typewriter in Resident Evil.
The Chicago typewriter?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but you see, the Chicago typewriter didn't give you, it didn't fucking explode your attaché case with medicines and first aid sprays. You just had a really good gun. You can still very much die.
Leon is just wheeling a cart behind him full of first aid sprays.
Ashley just riding like an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Little first aid sprays inside the little
Ashley's
canister in the front.
Ashley's playing the car, not Leon.
Oof.
Yeah.
Come, Peck Mule. Yeah.
I like how when the doll appeared in that other room, you wasted two tornado spells on it, and she still got in a sucker punch.
because I just want to get out of the way. But sometimes she just ignores certain things. The worst attack I find is the grab, when she just gnaws at your neck. Because you can't do anything about that, and that's a good 30 of your health gone.
Yeah, she's pretty much channeling Resident Evil at that point.
Oh, bitch. Man, is this what I'm like? I'm an asshole. Anyway, so I'm also wearing another Genma exclusive armor. This is the heavy metal armor, and man,
It's
I just put on like an additional 30, 40 pounds with this piece of shit on. Gonna have the swollest abs when this playthrough's over. But I'm also probably sweating like a motherfucker.
metal armor. How?
I think it's supposed to be like Western influence. I think that's what the description of the item says.
I would assume so, because, like, from what I understand, the quality of Japan's iron was never that great, which is part of the reason that they had to do the fancy pants katana forging techniques that they do to get a functional sword in the first place.
I mean, what is the process of making a standard?
It involves
Katana.
taking the metal
Yes.
and folding it over a bunch in order to strengthen it. Is the short version.
There's a lot of impurity in the metal that they had to work with back
Right.
at the time. So the folding technique, I believe, is a means of dealing with that. But I don't know the specifics. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that go into it.
Blacksmithing is really cool. Like, I watch videos about blacksmithing all the time. It's just, I don't know, it's just neat. I just think it's
You're talking about videos that go beyond like, your favorite blacksmiths making video
like
game weapons and other shit like that?
like you learn all of the
Yeah.
the different techniques and stuff that they do. Like, it's all really cool stuff, really.
Yeah. I've watched a few videos about it, but it's been a while. So that's why my explanation kind of, frankly, sucks.
Yeah,
But,
I just know how to
yeah.
put an electric oven on, make soup. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next part of Onimusha.